everybody, it's the coach. Welcome to the special Saturday edition of the NFL on EA Sports. We are just moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Indianapolis Colts. With that, let's get on up to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis for the call. We bring our broadcasters, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Just a short time ago, smoke from the Pyrotechs filled the dome as the Colts made their way out of the locker room. We're set for football as the Colts get set to match up with Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals. Brandon Godden and Charles Davis with our broadcast perch. And Charles, as we get this thing started, what are you going to be keeping your eye on?
Special teams. Field position is always a big determiner in the ball game. Who sets their offense up for success the best? That team will win the game.
Here's Randy Bullock now to put toe to leather, and this one is underway here on EA Sports. This one taken just inside the 10. Oh, twisting away. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the Stanford man. It's Andrew Luck.
I love everything about Andrew Luck's game, but I also love his worldliness. Some of his formative years were spent growing up outside of the United States. I think that's helped him when he came back because now he's seen the world. I think that helped him mature a little bit as well.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Luck. And his first look is incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. And here are the Colts offensive starters.
Brian Kelly's a great example of how valuable centers have become in the NFL. A former first-round pick, he was plugged in immediately to be a starter, to handle big nose tackles, as well as blitzing linebackers, and also able to move and get out into the run game and get to the 2nd and 3rd level and deliver blocks.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Play action, it's Locke. He completes this one to Mack. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down. The defensive starters now for Cincinnati.
When you play against Carlos Dunlap, you have to think protecting your passer. He knows how to get upfield and rush the quarterback.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Locke. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
It's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. Back deep, Alex Erickson. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. So now the Bengals get ready for their first drive. They'll be led out by the former Texas Christian University Horned Frog, Andy Dalton.
And there's no substitute for experience in this league. And what it usually leads to, a whole lot of confidence. Andy Dalton is sharp with where to go with the football now. I think he sees reads before they actually even happen. He can sense them now, and he is one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jabal Shear wreaking the defensive havoc.
It may be cliche, but it is something that holds up over time, doesn't it? If you're the visitors, you don't want to let the crowd in the game early.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they did there. But you said also this defense, they're going to give them a lot of looks like we just saw there, aren't they?
They certainly are. They're a proud unit, and they're going to ride the momentum of this crowd with them, and that's why they got after them early.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Now first carry for Giovanni Bernard. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play call, though, isn't it? Because it's one thing to try to adjust when a guy is disrupting your running game. When you your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a second guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
You'd say that from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down, went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Not able to find Green. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. The former 2nd-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Dalton, bootlegs out. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
How about that one? The so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was a strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
For the Colts, an extra defensive back in there now on 3rd down. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. And Alford has it. And they'll get him to the ground, and he has another 1st down at the Colts 42.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker, can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Past the 20. He gets this one to Boyd. And he'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 23 yards on the play. Nice completion there for Andy Dalton. Charles, you worked some of his games when he was at TCU. Now you've worked his games in the NFL. What progression have you seen?
I've seen a guy who took over as a freshman in college and got better and better each year. Always added a little bit more to his game, gets stronger. But the best part about him is he's always been accurate.
Mixon with 1st down carry. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Came out in the power set. That only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Done here from the gun. He completes it to Boyd. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive going to plan so far. From the gun. Done. That's going to be caught by Ross for a Bengal touchdown. 2 yards on the touchdown there, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym, preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Bullet good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive, and it ends with a Bengals score. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This one taken from the 7. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Naeem Hines, his first carry. And they wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. What I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Here's Locke. That's complete to Jack Doyle, the tight end. And he'll get up near the 45, they'll spot it at the 44. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
They try to quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're open, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Throwing on second and 8. Luck. This one complete to Devin Funches. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll run on first down with Marlon Mack. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he can even get started. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
There is no doubt that Geno Atkins is really strong and stout at the point of attack, but I love his suddenness, to the ability to make plays, to be in one spot, and then he's gone and into the offensive backfield. He's a heck of a player.
And they're a big TFL, tackle for loss.
Hard to believe that his father, Gene Atkins, was an NFL defensive back. Has bred this big defensive tackle.
Now on 2nd and 13. Luck. They'll run the screen with Mack. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try to pick up the first down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. Now the gun. Lock. He's going to float this one deep right side. Now he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Sean Williams there defensively to break that one up.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Getting ready to go again, here's Andy Dalton marching back onto the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of it. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the 2nd quarter. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at the 20. Operating from the gun. Dalton. This is caught. It's Boyd. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. On the draw, here's Bernard. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Despite the blitz, is still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and those creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Jet sweep, Boyd with it. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run it, try to keep the defense honest.
You mean, or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for first down. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will join us from Orlando with our halftime report. The business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coaches' 2-minute drill.
There to stop it was Darius Leonard.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Dalton looking outside and he's got a man. That's Boyd. Now on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, Dalton got a man, it's lost, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Give him 17 at a Cincinnati first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Dalton going to break the huddle, come up 1st and 10. And he's 8 for 8 now, throwing the ball to start the game. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Now Bullock to add the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now Locke. And Tom finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Wow. Throw complete there, Rodgers. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
On 3rd down, a run by Mack. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on to punt for Indianapolis. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Erickson now to return. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. You got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try to add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you get some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
From the 34 down, here's 1st and 10. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Here's Dalton. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quickly because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Operating from the gun. Dalton, Aaron run out for Boyd, and that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. Back deep, Chester Rogers. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Marlon Mack now heading back out there. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
They haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Final 17 seconds of the half here as they come up to the line, 1st and 10. It's caught by Funchess. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. On first down, Locke. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Luck now to throw. He's got Jack Doyle. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. The last catch nearly got him at first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. The final shot before the break. Lock. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Darquez Denard. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we've come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has certainly been one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference as the teams have already come back out onto the field for the second half. So let's get you back out as well to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 8. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Bengal offense now with the football first here to begin quarter number 3. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. From the gun, Dalton gets it to his running back. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard to go for the first.
Everyone's going to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
That last catch short a marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Dalton gives to Waller. That one a first down pickup of 8.
I think they like this drive a little bit better than their partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Play fake. Here's Dalton. Got his man. It's Eifert. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the third quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. They run the counter. Bernard. Give the tackle to Anthony Walker.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Andy Dalton. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Tyler Boyd, the former Pitt Panther, was the target. And it's 3rd down.
I know coaches tell us all the time to have a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. The run here with Bernard. And he'll be stopped here well short of the 1st down at the 24-yard line. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. And they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe it'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Here's Randy Bullock now as he'll go for the field goal. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. And Bullock will put this one through, and the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes back to the 25-yard line. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the 2nd half. They trail offense first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned. Because some teams script to start a half, other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they go in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He was looking for the connection with Devin Funchess. And now it's 2nd down.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let it just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground incomplete.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Back to throw. Love. Under pressure, and down he goes. Luck is sacked. Geno Atkins picks up his 2nd sack in the afternoon.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
The offensive film section tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Luck and the Colts looking for something big here after the sack. This is 3rd and long. Off of play action. Luck. Taken in by the tight end Doyle. And he'll be out of bounds near the 30. In fact, right on the 30. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it will still lead to a 4th down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Getting set to go again, Andy Dalton marches back onto the field. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your core? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
That's what he's done here in this one so far. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. But the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Andy Dalton now, 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far. It's 1st and 10. Dalton on the draw to mix him. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
From the 41, Dalton. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the headlines. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
He's got his man, boy. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a 1st down. Andy Dalton now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. Nixon. So he got 3 and 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
On 2nd down, Bernard. They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. They're looking at 3rd. Those are the footballs. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. That's complete. Bernard. And he's going to have the 1st down, yardage to the 35. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Andy Dalton now perfect since the second half started, 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Dalton with a give here to Nixon. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Grant, that's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up second and 12. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. It's big tight end Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up third down.
He's a little trigger happy right there. And it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
We know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. The Bengals on third down. They've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. This is third down and 12. Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. They're able to find Green. And they'll get him to the ground, and he has another first down at the Colts' 22-yard line.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
You have confidence with a lead to throw it here in the fourth, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and take and go like turtle at this point. You just go ahead and play.
They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one. It might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward to get what he can.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's second and 13. Dalton, bootlegs out. He's going to go down here and sack. They push him back to the 34. Jabal Sheard able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
And that takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at third and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
So the sack, and now it's third and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Dalton here from the gun. That's going to be caught. And they are able to stop it, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long. And I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
So another third down conversion, and now they've got a first and goal. They'll run here with Bernard, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a second and goal now as they look to add a few more points here onto their total. And they'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. Calling no gain that time, and now it's third and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on third and goal? Throw it, Dalton. Eventually take him down here. Great coverage downfield. Jabal Sheard giving him once again his third sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. Bullock's kick is good. And the lead now increases to 20-0. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know, in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Line of scrimmage at 31 now on 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Locke. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. Protection is certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Now it's Locke. This to Hines on the drop-off. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on 3rd. Now the gun. Oh, this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked up by Sean Williams. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
So they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way. But the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field. So you got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.
So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long from Indy.
So, there you have it. The Bengals are winners 20-0. Got the stream, and I'll be back with another live video. So let me set this up, and I'll be right back.